This is the matching network for my MA5B mini beam antenna. It has been on the roof for 15 years. And before I install it again, I want to check if everything is as it's supposed to be. Welcome on my channel. First impression is not bad at all, but watch how this evolves. Also, the continuity of the wires look okay, but there are signs of water damage. There are water damage signs around the screws and the PCB. To have a better look what's going on, I removed the filter from the case. To remove the wires more easily, I use some flux and fresh solder. Now the filter is out of the case, I have a better view, and it isn't pretty. The filter is literally in 100 pieces. To replace the original 50 ohms common mode choke, I use a design from Wolfgang Wippermann. His designs are fully tested with very clear construction descriptions, in German, but nothing that Google Translate can't resolve. The link is in the description. To make the new common mode choke, I use a FT240 43 ferrite core. Some PTFE wire, 70 gauge, and 4 tie wraps. I start with a tie wrap and put the first winding through the tie wrap. Be aware that the wire is here through the core already. This is winding number 1. Don't miscalculate. Now I put the other 11 windings on the core. My wire is very stiff. Make sure the windings are tight on the core. The windings should not be able to move freely. At the end I place a tie wrap again and it starts all over again for the second coil of the common mouth choke. Okay, new tie wrap. And again. I'll check the number of turns again. If something is wrong, it's still possible to correct it. The last tie wrap and the hard work is done. Time to test the 50 ohms 1-to-1 common mode choke. I do not cut the wires yet, but it does influence the measuring results negatively, so keep that in mind. The Rig Expert antenna tester is connected to this side. Here you have it, and it's connected to the PC. And on the other side is connected to the 50 ohm dummy load. Let's start the test and see how low the SWR is even with the long wires. And I measure from 0 to 52 MHz. Next test is to measure the current mode attenuation. That must be at least 20 dB. To emulate the antenna, two 25 ohm resistors are connected to the coils and the center is connected to the tracking generator from the spectrum analyzer. The other side of the common mode choke is connected with two 25 ohms resistors and the center is going to the input of the spectrum analyzer. The ground of the tracking generator and input of the spectrum analyzer are connected together. And here the result of this test, a nice line at minus 40 decibels. Next problem to solve, the new 800 watt common mode choke does not fit in the original casing. Buying one is no fun at all, so let's make a new one on the 3D printer. I'm using Fusion 360 to draw my 3D objects. If you want to know more about 3D printing, there are a lot of tutorials on YouTube. And this is the result. I already drilled the holes for the mountings and the choke fits perfectly in the center of the casing. The mountings can be fitted, and to prevent water to enter the case I'm using B7000 glue to make a flexible water seal around the screw holes. The wires to the dipoles have to be connected. I'm using here a small piece of PCB where I solder the wires to. To prevent that the ground wire can cause a short, I removed a few millimeters of the copper on the side where the inner conductor of the coax will be soldered. I make sure that the ground wire is flat on the PCB when I solder it. Now the shield wire is done, it's time for the inner coax conductor to be soldered to the PCB. I also make sure that the wire is flat on the PCB. The wires for the dipoles are connected to the PCB. Now I'm connecting one side of the common mode choke to the dipole wires by soldering the common mode choke wires to the PCB. The wires are stiff and there's not much space, so it's some fiddling. To keep the PCB in place and make sure it cannot touch the screws, I use plenty of hot glue. I also glue the common mode choke to the center of the casing. Before I continue with the input of the common mode choke, I check the continuity of the wires. Better safe than sorry. We're almost there. It's only a few steps from completing the common mode choke for the MA5B mini beam. Connecting here the SO239 connector to the choke and the casing. After connecting the last wire, I test the continuity of the common mode choke again. No shortage. And good continuity from the input to the output wires. And a final test before I close the casing with glue, a nice SWR. Last step is to close the casing. I use B7000 glue to make a water seal. This glue stays flexible and can be removed if necessary. And again a nice SWR and ready to mount to the MA5B. Thank you for watching.